1800s America, a Victorian America, a time which reflected the heavy British cultural influence on the nation, characterized by not only the common attire, that is, corsets made of whalebone and steel designed to slim a woman's waist to the ideal 18 inches and breaking her two bottom ribs in the process, and including larger-than-life skirts. It was also forbidden for women to show any ankle, neck, or wrist. Many women lived the housewife lifestyle. This era was also one which earned America the name Alcoholic Republic. During the Victorian era, an estimated 7.5 gallons of hard alcohol per person per year were consumed. Copious amounts of people were consistently drunk. And though temperance movements existed, lack of support deemed them relatively fruitless. Women got tired of not breathing, and there was a huge culture shift. The 1920s, an era of excess. Post-World War I, the way Americans spent their wealth changed drastically. No longer needing to give money to an ongoing war effort, Americans could now spend more money for leisure. In turn, this period of increased consumerism demanded a larger and more efficient workforce. For many, the solution lay in the alcohol consumption of the nation, stating that alcohol reduced productivity. In conjunction with this, the temperance movement of the early 20th century reached new heights thanks to many others' disavowal of alcohol, with claims of its negative effects on society, like the corrosion of marriages and homes, and its perpetuation of violence and prostitution. All these so-called prohibitionists voted for the complete illegalization of alcohol. The Volstead Act of 1919 banned the manufacture, sale, and transportation of alcohol beverages in the United States. This was the birth of a new era, an era of prohibition. Prohibition created a nation of criminals. Alcohol is expensive, and people would do anything to obtain it. There is also a certain thrill involved in its pursuit. Women such as Edna Giard, who was a bootlegger for Al Capone, and Maggie Bailey, who started bootlegging at age 17 and later nicknamed the Queen, loved the money, excitement, and glamour of the work. Women bootleggers would sometimes hide liquor on themselves, but would rarely be caught. It was illegal in most places for males to search a woman. This made women prohibition agents and bootleggers extremely and uniquely valuable. Scarface, Al Capone, perhaps the most famous of bootleggers of the 1920s, had an illustrious crime background. At age 14, he dropped out of school and joined a gang in New York, and later moving to Chicago, became involved in pimping and bar bouncing. Capone, with his organized crimes such as gambling, bootlegging, and prostitution, accumulated a vast amount of personal fortune. $60 million in a year, or $750 million by today's standards. By 1929, Capone's bootlegging, or distribution of illicit alcohol, which proved to be incredibly elaborate, earned him upwards of around $100 per minute, $1,500 per minute today. It is safe to say he trusted no one and made profit from others' fear of what he might do. At the same time, Prohibition changes the culture and social trends. This jazz era made alcohol seem sophisticated and sociable. Alcohol centered itself around the new shift of morality in the United States. And although its production and sale was illegal, people managed to get their hands on it through other means. Hence the emergence of near beer, which had a 0.5% of alcohol, Jake, which was a mix of roots, herbs, and poison, bathtub gin, moonshine, and increased demand for legal and medicinal alcohol, fueled by bootleggers like Al Capone, were unlicensed, elusive underground establishments where men and women gathered to drink alcohol, among other immoral things. Speakeasies, often hidden in plain sight, speakeasies were concealed with fake names to the public and required secret passwords to be admitted into. While such a concept traced back to even the 1890s, speakeasies' popularity skyrocketed in this era of Prohibition in the 1920s. Additionally, before Prohibition, most respectable women would not even think of entering such a place, but now women, usually self-proclaimed flappers, were flocking to the speakeasies. The federal government wondered if they were being successful in this noble experiment of prohibition. Statistically speaking, the government's efforts did initially quell the consumption of alcohol per capita from the 7 gallons to 0.2. However, this was merely temporary. Due to the massive bootlegging industry through speakeasies, for example, this number is not only inaccurate, but notably inched up with progression of time. In 1929, the FBI ran an experiment during this time in which alcohol was illegal. How long would it take an undercover agent to get his hands on alcohol? In New York City, it took 8 minutes. In Chicago, it took 3 minutes. In New Orleans, it only took 8 seconds. Al Capone was at his prime during the Prohibition and got all the women, alcohol, and money he wanted. Police could never quite trace crimes back to Al Capone. So they finally threw him in prison for tax evasion in 1931.
I'll take the legs from some old table. I'll take the arms from some old chair. I'll take the neck from some old bottle. And from a horse, I'll take the head. I'll take the hands and face from off the clock. And baby, when I'm through, I'll get more loving from the dum-dum dummy than I ever got from you. Get me some legs, get me a chair, and a bottle too. Give me a horse, and give me some time, and baby, when I'm through, I'll take the legs from some old table. I'll take the arm from some old...
And that's done it for. Now.
And from a horse, I'll take the hair. I'll take the hands and the face from off the clock.